This hearing. It's clear, we all know, we all agree, we need to get to the bottom of what happened with these two crashes so that we can provide answers to the families and friends of the victims, but also to do all we can to try to ensure nothing like this ever happens again. I want to focus my questions on the certification process. I had said at the hearing we had a few weeks ago, I think that there was something went wrong. We need to figure out what that is. We're still waiting for answers in investigation here. But I want to ask more general questions about the ODA program. I want to start with Captain Sullenberger. In your testimony, you pose a lot of important questions for Congress to consider with respect to the certification process. Do you have any specific recommendations at the moment with regards to general reforms of the process?
It's important that oversight include accountability, or it means nothing. First, it's important that FAA be provided the budgets that are sufficient consistently to fulfill its responsibilities to the safety of the traveling public in terms of staffing, in terms of providing those who oversee certification with the subject matter expertise to be able to do their jobs, especially as technology improves, and especially in this global aviation industry. It's often very difficult internationally for FAA to have the budget, the staffing, and the subject matter expertise to do the oversight that's necessary, particularly for foreign manufacturers. It's important, as Captain Carey has said, and Ms. Nelson has said, that the FAA have the independence to do their jobs without political or economic influence. It's important that whistleblower protections be in place and that the safety culture in our organizations, FAA and manufacturers, be strong enough that those who have the integrity and the courage to insist on the highest design standards for the safety of the public not be overruled by supervisors with other agendas.
How do we do those things?
Pardon me?
How do we do those?
We start with the organization itself, and we start with how the incentives in each organization are aligned. Are they aligned for expedience, or for economy, or are they aligned for consistent application of best practices? Are people hired and promoted and receive bonuses based upon production numbers or based upon quality, safety? We get what we measure. We get what we reward. And right now, in important ways, the incentives are not aligned toward consistent public good sufficiently in all our organizations. Key members and leaders of each safety-critical aviation organization must have subject matter expertise, and in some cases, they must not be only engineers, they must also be pilots. So they understand in a first-hand way the implications of design choices. Every design involves compromises between strength and weight, performance and cost. We need to make sure that these decisions are made in a fully informed fashion, in a transparent way, and that communication about them is communicated effectively at every level, so we know what risks are and why we're taking them. We also must look at faults not just individually but in combination. I think that may be a part of what happened here, that there was not a full appreciation of the magnitude of the risk to a single fault to these systems and the lack of knowledge among the operators.
I want to give Ms. Nelson a chance to address this in the last minute I have. Thank you.
Okay, so we have talked with engineering experts who have advised us that a culture of safety would engineer a plane from a clean sheet, and a software fix is not a fix to a manufacturing problem. Now, they have also assured us that it is possible to have a software fix to make the 737 MAX safe, but starting from a place of the FAA turning at the same time to say that the manufacturers and the airlines are their customers, as opposed to providing that direct oversight and creating the Organization Design Authorization Program, ODA. There were many warnings that over time this program would lead to a deterioration of safety. And that is because there is not the rigorous oversight throughout the process that may have led Boeing from the very beginning to make very different decisions here because of the oversight that would have been involved if we were to return to the FAA oversight prior to ODA.
Thank you very much. I yield back.
Thank you, and I recognize Representative Spano for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, witnesses, for being here. We appreciate it. And thank you to the family members for being here. Again, I want to as well wish